guys, today I'm doing a book review on Glass Sword by Victoria Aveyard, Red Queen number 2. Okay, now you would think after reading Red Queen I would learn that Victoria Aveyard does not spare characters. She just kills off whoever the fuck she wants and she doesn't care about her feelings. So we start off exactly where we left off. It has been hours since their escape from Maven. I think throughout this entire book it was like 9 days. The whole entire series takes place in 9 days. And they're going to this abandoned island in the submarine while they're fleeing this one town. And, Cal's not exactly weighing favors, but you didn't think that they'd have that much vengeance. So they get there, and they put Cal in his only room, and, it's not a prison room at all. You're just not allowed to leave it, and we'll just serve you food from here. But you're not a prisoner at all. I hated how they were treating Cal. I hated how they were treating Silvers because blood is dividing them, and they were so mad because they were the inferior race, and when they finally were starting to gain control, they were just making the Silvers inferior instead of just trying to make things equal, so literally all you're doing is trading one for another. Maya has her list, and, she doesn't know how to track him because they're on this island. She's reunited with Sade. We have Farley, but she's not the actual captain. She just has to step down, but she really doesn't. I love Farley. I think she's my favorite character throughout this entire book series. It's Farley, Cal, and then probably somebody else, maybe Maya. I don't know. She's an okay lead character. She's kind of annoying sometimes. Soon as they get to the island, they put Cal at gunpoint, and they're so satisfied by this power they have over a Silver, and I was so ticked off because they're just brain dead. You just want power, you dumbass. A stupid command guy who's actually Farley's dad, which you kind of learn about him in the short story of Cruel Crown, but not much, but I wanted to learn more about him. So, oh yay, victory, we put the prince in a jail cell, and he can't, use his powers because they have that stupid stone, and they throw Maya in there eventually, because Killua's like, oh, trust me, and then 5 seconds later, he throws her in there. Killua keeps wondering why there's this rift between him and Maya. It's because he knew what they were going to do to Cal, and he let them do it, and he didn't even tell Maya, and then I know he had a good intention, they end up breaking out of prison and whatever, but he acts like he's gonna throw Maya in prison, and I'm like, really? Yeah, best friends for life from that. They do end up coming to the rescue. Farley is fine. They have Farley, Cal, and Killua, Sade, and they transport and they leave, and they have the list, and they're slowly hunting the people down. And they go to this first guy. His name is Nyx. He's the stone setter, and he almost kills Cal when they first meet because Cal had apparently ordered his daughters to march to death. Though I wasn't really seeing a point of anger at Cal because he was a commander. He did what he thought was best, and granted he was a Silver, and that killed Reds. But it was a war, and he was forced to fight in it. He didn't even choose to fight in it. It was just kind of, you have to fight if you want to, survive. So I didn't see all his anger, and Nick starts coming around to him as Cal explains to him that he was forced to kill his own father, and Cal's having nightmares from this, and my baby Cal, I just wanted to hug him. I love Cal, and I hated what Maya did to him. They're slowly going through this list, and they're setting up this camp, and it's hidden in the woods, kind of. They're meeting people with shape-shifting abilities, people like Sade who can teleport, all of that, and they're getting up a little army, and it ranges from 4-year-olds to 80-year-olds, and we have this one character named Nanny who can shapeshift to anything. This kind of reminded me of the Young Elite series because you had Cal with his fire ability, and in that series you had Enzo with his fire ability, but except for they were for 2 different reasons. We saw Maven 3 times throughout this entire book, and I gotta say, that was enough for me. Maven at the beginning, at the stupid flame of fire, I loved Cal when he set everything on fire. I absolutely hated this one scene. There's this rift between Killua and Maya. No shit, Sherlock. And Killua hates Cal, which Cal has just lost everything. And you'd think if all people Killua would understand that, because no matter what, you've lost your entire family as Killua has, but nope, let's just be a condescending asshole to make ourselves seem cool. And this is one scene where they have to cross the river, and Cal is not comfortable doing this. Keep in mind, at the end of Red Queen, he almost drowned and was almost buried alive with water from that other guy's powers or whatever. And he's a fire burner, doesn't like water naturally, and after, almost being killed by it, it makes sense that he's afraid of it, but no, Killua just laughing at him. Fuck you, Killua. Let's try to get you killed about 5,000 times and then make you feel your greatest fear. As things are getting set up on camp, they don't have command, but Farley is still saying the Scarlet Guard. They still say season control. There's this one betrayal of the Scarlet Guard when they're trying to rescue Sums, and they alert them, and at first you don't think much about it, because yeah, oh joy, you've been stabbed in the back again. And they're running through, and they finally let themselves be known, and when they do, they hang the guy they came to find up in town square. They do end up rescuing a girl named Ava, but that's on pure accident. One of the Scarlet Guard does end up going with them. There's this one part where Cal, almost falls and dies, and they're, running through this building trying to get, this map out of all the people on the list of where they live and how to find them, and they get it, and Cal almost dies because it's setting everything on fire, and he almost falls off the ledge at one point. I was like, oh god. Everything I thought okay, we had a dramatic moment, we're done. But no, Maven shows up, the big significant time he does, and he has this new sound machine that he sets to Maya, and apparently the electricity or something, it basically tortures her it's like a taser. That's how I imaged it, but torturing her. And I was like, it was horrifying. She wakes up 4 days later with lightning scars on her. They're jetting around, and they find this guy named John. And my god, Maya, this whole entire book, Maya will not get close to Cal or anybody else because she won't trust anybody else. And the one person she fucking trusts ends up being the reason for her brother's death. So, great job there. And he can predict the future and see anything as long as it is the true future. Granted, people change their minds at every 0.5 seconds. So he explains about this prison and how Julian's going to be put to death, and she has her little army kids, so she's going to rally up 11 people, and they're going to go break into this prison. Bad idea, man. Bad idea. There's this emotional scene beforehand when they're training between Maya and Cal, and she's like, I miss Maven, and he's like, I miss him too, and I just why won't anybody comfort Cal? Does nobody know what it's like to lose a family member, much less be forced to kill them because somebody went in your freaking mind? Can we get some sympathy over here? I always see Cal as the king. He is the rightful king. He's the rightful one. He went to towns and he understood what people needed. Granted, he didn't want a war because he didn't want a bunch of death, so he doesn't want a radical change. But seeing as there's already war at the door, as of right now, when they win the war, assuming the Reds do, and there's equality, I think he'd be a fantastic king. They break into this prison. At first, everything's going smoothly. You got Nanny shapeshifting as Maven, ordering around her troops. And then they say, oh, by the way, the Queen's here. They're slowly letting the prisoners out, and they're finally making their escape. And they're running, and there's this scene where these Silvers are begging to let them live. And Maya is just not having it. And I hated Maya in this one. She's so dark and so unremorseful. It's literally just like the Queen, okay? The Queen's manipulative and uncold and makes people kill, and she's just one step lower than that. She's just killing everybody. And as they're on their knees pleading, and even Cal's like, stop it. She doesn't freaking stop. She kills them. And I'm like, what is wrong with you? You need an army of everybody supporting equality. You don't need to define blood. It is not Reds against Silvers. It is supposed to be everybody against Maven here. Get your shit together and get your right allies. They rescue Julian and Sarah. Cal's not really helping Maya. He's kind of having to dodge these, metal things, which is perfectly fine for me. Go F yourself after letting them die like that, Maya. We have this one scene at the end. Oh my god. The big grand finale. Everybody's been rescued. Everybody's back at the ship. It's actually successful, and you think it's going to be Death Day, but no, it's really successful, and 5,000 something kids are saved, and Maya's about to go on the plane, and she teleports back over there to help her, and I think this needle was meant for her, but because Sade teleported, he got it, but gets shot through the heart.
Why'd you kill Sade? Oh my god! No! No, 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 no!
Kill my favorite character. Farley and Shade with my ship, they were a confirmed thing. And I was reading some other scenes, I was reading other people's plot twists. I have this little idea, because Farley kept getting sick every time they teleported, and, you know, her hand was on her stomach, and I was like, oh my god, she's plaguers. And then there's this question that John only knows the answer to, and after Shade has died, and they're on the plane, there's this stupid cat fight between Farley and Maya. And I gotta say, Maya was the dumbest bitch in all of town, because he literally says to Farley, you only knew my brother for a few months. You couldn't love him as much as I could. Somebody says this line about, do you know what Sade was to Farley? And Farley's lost so much. And now she's lost Sade too, and just tears were flowing. There's this awful scene between Cal and Maya where Cal's just like, you've just become too dark and too much. And Maya's like, well, you know, you can't kill anybody, Cal, which pissed me off. Because no, Cal is the best character in this whole series, in my opinion, because he's reasonable. He's the most logical out of all of them. Yes, there should have been a revolution, but he was logical in knowing if there was, a lot of people would have died in that war, so it's kind of best to just leave it how it is and try to help the Reds' conditions rather than make everybody equal, because, you know, it's better than thousands and thousands of people dying. But no, Mayor, go on and F everything up so he can't kill people. He doesn't kill people begging on their knees to live. I really, really, really hate Maya. And then at her brother's funeral, she's like, why isn't anybody coming to me? After that scene, really? And she finally tells Farley, like, John told me to say the answer to the question is yes. And I was like, oh my god, because Farley stops fighting, and that's the only time she's ever stopped fighting, and starts crying, and I'm like, is she pregnant? Shade and Farley without Shade. Shade and Farley deserve better. Shade and Farley deserve better. They were the best ones. If anybody, you should have killed Kaloa, because he didn't add as much, in my opinion. I'm sorry. Shade was a helpful ass freaking teleporter, and Farley, I really wish Farley was a new blood, but she's not. But she's so much a commander. She has no powers, and in one scene she has no guns and no weapons, but she just stands there and still commands, and she's amazing. They go to the colonel, head guy of the Scarlet Guard, who kind of effed them over the first time. And they're like, and there's this one sentence, Farley and Killua had one arm on Shade's body, but I only cared about the other one on the stretcher. Really, Mayor? Really? She's like, hey, look, I got the dead queen's head. You want to look at it and put it around the square? She's getting on the edge of psychopathic, what's not liking, because she had a love past, but she's not letting other people make redemptions from that. She just wants revenge against them, which killing every single silver is not going to get you a great country, because she loves Cal and Julian, but every other silver she hates. That makes sense. It's a scene at the end where she meets some people from an outside district. They're like, you can just come join us, we're just so peaceful. When they first met those people from the, like, outer districts who wanted to offer them peace or equality, because they were kind of like Switzerland, they wanted to remain neutral, they didn't really give a shit. They were just a country full of new bloods, but they didn't allow silvers or anybody else like that. They were so president against that. At first I was like, oh, because they said Farley accepted the deal, and I was like, oh, so that was Farley's yes. But then I was like, I don't think so, because Maya just, like, F's them over completely, and then she says, okay, we'll go kill the king, and, you know, we'll consider ourselves allies. She finally goes to her brother's funeral, and she's so mad because nobody comforts her. I can see using anger as a deflect way of being in pain, but even after that, and after she realized what she'd done, she just sat there until Julian made her get up and go to her family. She wasn't even going to go to her family while they were grieving, and even then, she's just like, she never even apologized. I was like, can she not? She never apologized to Cal ever. She wanted to when she was finally about to die, but still didn't do that. They end up going to Choke, which is an extremely dangerous battlefield, and they are now like 120% Scarlet Guard. Everybody's reunited. We have the Silvers, or the three of them, Sailor, Julian, and Cal. I was so happy to see Julian and Sailor. After Cool Clown, I have saying finally, I will have Julian and Sailor. Don't touch them. Don't think about it. Don't back away, Victoria. Back away from him. Let us have a couple. And also, can we have Cal and Maya finally work things out? Because she's just mad at Cal this whole time. Like, he did literally nothing. I want Cal to be the king again. I want him to get back to the throne. It is rightfully his. He's the one trained with being a leader, and he's the one who could handle it. And granted, there will be a civil war, but he would best handle the country. They're going to choke, and shockingly enough, Cal is there, and the whole crew's going. Her two brothers, Bree and Tammy, are too. As she's leaving, she gives Gisa a little stud earring to symbolize their family members off to war / dead thing. Great, she knew she was just going to die. And then Farley comes up to her and she says she's not going. And I'm like, Farley always fights. Even if she was grieving, she'd fight. That's why I'm thinking she's preggers, because, she'd stand down from a fight if she doesn't want to list the last bit of shade she has. God. It ends with suddenly the plane they're in, and they're crashing down, and they stop like 1 inch above the ground, and I just had that visual image of like a Harry Potter scene with the visual. I kept thinking of Harry Potter in this with the dark black prison walls like Azkaban, and then how they stopped like a second before they hit the ground like they did in like the second to last Harry Potter movie. And then Maeve is there, and finally Maya makes her redemption for all this hateful stuff she's done. And they didn't make the light one. I expected some badass fight and she can call upon storms lightning in the sky, but no. She gives up completely, and on the little cover it says Neela bleeds, so then they release all of her other friends and she kneels. She's tortured for a few days, and then there's this line at the end like, you publicly displayed my mother's body, I'll make her to do the same to you, and Maven's going to execute her. But there's a book 3. I checked Goodreads. There is a book 3. I want it right now, even though this is like 2 months out. It just came out like 2 months ago. I gave it 5 stars because it was so amazing. I really hate Mary. I do. I don't think her redemption was what she should have done, but I did get it. And she wasn't being logical at the times, except for only when she wanted to. And she's really bipolar because she's like, I'm just a nobody. And the next second she's like, I'm your queen. Scarlet God, bow before me. I was like, make up your damn mind, man. That being said, with me not liking Maya and being okay with Killora, I loved Cal, Farley, Shade. Those 3 just sold it for me. They were amazing. So amazing. I loved it so much. I want book 3 so bad. We'd have to wait like years for it. I want to know if Maya was killed, because you'd think in the last scene that was her execution, but was it? Is Maya dead? Is that where the 3rd one picks up? The Civil War has started with the revolting. And the Civil War is going to spread to all the countries, I have a hunch, not just to this one country that I don't remember the name of anymore. So, yeah, I'm hoping we get to finally see Farley be happy. Maybe they can find a newborn who has the power to resurrect the dead. Shade, please. If not, I really want to see Farley happy. She deserves it out of anybody, because she's given up the most. And Cal, too. Cal and Maya need to get their shit together. Well, Maya does, to be honest. And just accept Cal. Cal is logical. Cal is a military genius. Military geniuses don't order with going to kill 24/7. They make strategies, and she needs to learn that instead of just going off impulses and half-ass plans. But I gave the book 5 stars even after you killed one of my favorite characters. There were some great freaking action scenes. When she just calls upon the lightning in the sky in the prison, I was like, holy shit, whoa. I love this little, it's going to be a trilogy or quartet, one of those. I want the next book now. If somebody could give me some details on that, like, that'd be cool. And yes, I've searched for them. I'm Annalyse, thank you for watching. Bye!